HarperWave and HarperAudio present Brain Inflamed, Uncovering the Hidden Causes of Anxiety, Depression, and Other Mood Disorders in Adolescents and Teens, by Kenneth Bock, MD, FAAFP, FACN, CNS. Read by Stephen Graybill. A note before we begin. Don't forget to download the accompanying enhanced PDF from your audiobook provider or go directly to www.harpercollins.com/audio/Brain Inflamed. One word. It contains useful information, charts, information on nutrients and herbs, and more, and will be referred to throughout as the enhancement. Forward. I've known Kenneth Bock for decades, and in that time I've continually watched him diagnose medical mysteries that have stumped many other practitioners. His interventions have altered the trajectory of his patients' lives and have truly improved outcomes for so many kids suffering from psychological disorders. His skill lies in his ability to accurately home in on and treat the root causes of the problem. As you will soon learn, many of the conditions that present in adolescents and teens as psychological in nature are, in fact, physiological. Such conditions are, at least in part, a result of chronic systemic inflammation that has traveled to the brain. Inflammation is a fundamental biological process that is essential for our survival. It is inflammation and its myriad expressions that allow our bodies to respond to confrontations from potentially harmful interactions with pathogenic organisms, toxins, traumatic events, and other circumstances that have the potential to prove threatening. But over the last several decades, it has become clear that this life-supportive inflammatory response may persist unchecked and actually pave the way for damaging events across a wide spectrum of bodily tissues. We now recognize that so many of our most pervasive, chronic, degenerative conditions are united in terms of their causation by persistent, unrestrained inflammation. Inflammation is now recognized as playing a central role in coronary artery disease, type 2 diabetes, Alzheimer's disease, depression, and even cancer. So clearly we need to explore the role of inflammation in the human body as being far more nuanced than simply friend or foe. Whether supportive or destructive, the inflammatory response is certainly complex. And while the common initiators described above are generally well understood, what is less universally appreciated is the role of lifestyle choices in regulating inflammation and its downstream effects. Our white blood cells and the various chemical mediators they produce are deeply involved in the inflammatory process, and they can, of course, be activated by a bee sting or an infection in the skin. But fundamental to the new understanding of the role of persistent inflammation in so many chronic debilitating conditions is the recognition that these very same pathways may be triggered into action by our daily decisions, including inappropriate food choices, lack of restorative sleep, chronic stress, and sedentariness. This important relationship between our day-to-day choices and the set point of inflammation, coupled with the role of inflammation as a causative factor in so many of our most feared medical conditions, is empowering, as it means that in a very real sense, each of us can take control of our health destiny when we make good lifestyle choices, choices that ultimately bring us benefit through modulation of inflammation. And well beyond diseases, the actual process of aging itself is now being looked upon as a manifestation of ongoing inflammation, so much so that the term inflammaging has now entered the scientific lexicon. Reining in chronic degenerative conditions and targeting the
Sample complete. Ready to continue?